Hi everyone, Marion Emberson here for Wow Embossing Powder. I'm going to show you an embossed enamel effect. I do apologise, I've got my wobbly table again. I'm starting off, I've chosen 4 different colour powders and I've just cut a triangle from some thick white chipboard. The reason I've used white is because then the true colours of the powder are going to show through. If I'd have used the other side where it was a buff colour, it would have changed the colours, so bear that in mind when you're embossing. So the first colour I've gone for is Champers. And then I'm going to choose Avocado. This is a green colour. Now some of these are pearl based, so they're going to give like an extra bit of shimmer on there, an extra bit of shine. And what I want to do, what I'm trying to achieve here, is to cover virtually all of the triangle. I don't want to go too much over the sides because then I'm just going to waste the powder, although I could just put it all together in a little pot and have a mixed lot of colour. But I'm just building it up, so I just keep putting powder on, seeing where there's little gaps, and just keep building. So the blue one I just used was called Misty Sky, and this one is called Yum Yum Bubblegum, and it is just the most gorgeous pink colour. It really is beautiful, and these colours really go perfectly together. It's really nice to be able to just play and mix a lot of colours. Now, because I put no ink on there, I can't just put the heat straight on the powder because it would just blow everywhere. So I've placed some baking parchment, just baking paper over the top, or freezer paper, any of that will work. And I'm heating through, and you can see it start coming through now. You can see it actually melting. And every now and again, I put the heat gun actually on the paper. I wouldn't do that for too long because you want to let air get to it. And then you can see now I've got a few gaps. I could leave it like that if I wanted to, but if I wanted to fill it in and add more and get a little bit more dimension and like depth there, I can add another layer of powder. So again, I'm just going to take a few of the colours again and just start filling it back up where I saw those gaps. Sometimes I like to leave gaps and then I fill them in with the sparkles as I go around the edges just to get a bit more glitter on there. But in this instance, I'm just going to fill it back up with the embossing powder. So I'm just sprinkling it all over. And I can still use that same piece of parchment that I used earlier. So I'm just going to pop that back over the top. And then I'm going to heat again. And you just want to make sure it's all melting through. And it doesn't matter if you burn the parchment. So this time I'm actually pushing the heat tool on it and rubbing it a little bit, and can you see where that's like blending in? And where I've got a gap at the top, I just start using the bits that were on my parchment, and there we go, that's all shiny and lovely on there now. I'm happy with that. And it sets, well basically it's set now, so it sets really quick. It is set now, and it doesn't stay like hot for long. It cools down very quickly as well, so that's good. Here's a nice little close-up so you can get a bit more of the detail. So what I want to do now, I want to add some glitter around the edge. So I'm going to use our sparkles. I'm going to use Jade. And sparkles, if you're not already aware, are just pure glitters from Wow. There's no embossing powder in them. You don't have to heat them. They'll just work with any form of adhesive. Plus you can use them with our bonding powder as well. And you can mix them in with our powders and make a sparkly powder from it. So all I've done is I've just whizzed around the edge of the triangle with a glue pen and then just sprinkled the sparkles on top, and then I'll just shake off the excess and pop those back in the pot. We never want to waste any of this, so let's just pop all that back in the pot and stick the lid on as well, just in case we have a little accident. It has been known in the past, and I'm sure it will happen again in the future. I'm going to give you a little close-up in a minute of the sparkles just so that you can see them on the edge. There we go. Absolutely beautiful. So now I want to make my little tree trunk. So I'm going to just dip it into the ink pad, just one side of it. And then I'm going to dip it into my pot of powder. I'm going to use Misty Sky here. Now, before I mentioned some of these have got a pearl base to them. So they can come out quite quite light, let's say. So I want to build this up. So I'm going to do one layer. So once I've seen that melting, then I'm just going to dip it straight back into the pot while it's still hot. And because it's hot, it means the powder that was underneath is still in quite a molten state. And then the new powder I'm putting on it is going to stick to it. And now I've got some really nice sort of lumpy bits on there, which is what I was going for. So I can, as I'm melting it, I can start getting it to move around and get it to run a little bit. And then this makes it lovely and thick, which is exactly what I wanted. So I'm just going to get rid of that bit there. That's it. And that's lovely and thick. And you can actually see the pearl in there on a close-up. So now I want to stick it down, and I personally find the best glue to use for this is Glossy Accents. You are going to have your favourites, but I like Glossy. I think it sticks quite quickly, and I'm just sticking wood to chipboard, so it works well for me. So I'm just going to place a little bit on the back there and then stick that down. And a great little thing to do here is you could then attach a little photo of a person, and that could be their place setting for Christmas, and then you just pop it on their plate at the dinner table, and it just sort of guides everyone to where they're sitting. It's a nice little keepsake for afterwards as well. So thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.